Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gizmo Joe. Today I have the iLife A4s Robot Vacuum. Long story short, basically, I hate vacuuming. I can't imagine anyone who actually enjoys the act of vacuuming, but I absolutely despise it. So I've been looking at getting a robot vacuum for a really long time. The only thing that's really prevented me is the fact that they're quite expensive. If I wanted to go for, one of the mid-range Roombas, you're probably looking at anywhere from 5 to 600 Australian dollars, which is quite pricey. And my partner was always scoff at the idea. She was like, just get the vacuum out of the closet and just do it, suck it up. But because I was always the one that had the vacuum, I was not happy with that. So I said, you know what, I got to buy a robot. Now, I did a lot of research. I wasn't sure which one to go with, but I eventually decided on the iLife A4s. The reason why I decided on this one is because it got pretty decent reviews because this guy is sold on Amazon. So I had a look at American reviews. People seem to be very, very happy with it, and so I decided to give it a shot. Now, I picked this up on GearBest. It was on sale. It was about $200. And for me, that was very affordable. Now, just quickly, I'll show you the unit itself. I've been using it for a few weeks now, so it's a bit scuffed up. I promise it didn't look like this out of the box, but there are some scratches and stuff, as you can see, especially down here. But that doesn't impact the operation of the device or anything like that. But just quickly, the front top here has your power button. You hit that. He beeps, turns on, hit it again, and he'll go and do his thing. Sorry, I call it a him because I named it Jarvis. Got the inspiration from the Iron Man movies. But anyway, I like the idea of Jarvis floating around my house and sucking up all of the crumbs and other non-desirable things that are living on my floor. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. You'll notice at the front here, it's got this bumper. So obviously, if it knocks into something, it changes its course. If we flick it over, which is the more interesting side, on the bottom here, you have these springy rubberized wheels. So this is what allows it to traverse over things like throw rugs or anything else that you may have on the floor. It will get over cords and cables and stuff, but you have to be careful because if the cord gets caught into this little mouthpiece bit here, you could be in for some damage. Now up here it has these little windy brushes. So these spin when this guy is on, and it basically scoops everything on the floor and pushes it towards this mouth bit. Now you'll notice that there's a brush in here that rotates as this guy is in operation, and it feeds everything into this bottom container section here, which you just press the button, which is on the underside here, that releases it, and you'll notice mine's all dirty and stuff, but on the inside there, that's where all your gunk goes. There is a HEPA filter, so if you have allergies and stuff, this one's actually a pretty decent model. The box actually includes a second one, and you can get replacement filters on eBay for fairly cheap, so just keep that in mind. So this guy just, again, slides back in, and it's ready to go. Now to clean the brush, you just push these little tabs in, this comes out, and you can take the brush out and you can get all the junk out of it. My partner sheds like crazy, and she usually, after we run this guy, there's tons of hair tangled on this thing. I'm actually going to let this guy go nuts for a little while and then come back and I'll show you what it picks up. And I will be very surprised if there is no hair on here. Now sometimes I find it difficult to get this guy back in, but he fits in just fine. So just pop that guy back on and it's ready to go. So as far as what comes in the box, you obviously get the unit itself. It comes with a charging base. Now this guy, supposedly, when his battery's flat, he'll meander back to his charging base. It's a bit hit and miss. Supposedly you're supposed to leave it in a really open area, but I live in a condo or a townhouse in a city, so I don't really have a lot of space, so therefore sometimes it gets kind of confused. It doesn't know where to go. I find that it's not really that big of a deal. I just pick them up and put them on the base. It's just a lot easier because it's kind of pathetic watching it, slowly meandering towards the charging base and never really getting there. So that's, if I have to have one complaint, that is probably my only one. The other thing you guys should know about this particular unit is that it does not have a mapping feature. So for 200 bucks, I wasn't expecting it to have one, but as I mentioned, my place is relatively small. The floor layout isn't very complicated, so I just wanted something that, would eventually get to all the spots in my house. So when you see this guy run, it's just totally random. It bumps into things, it changes course, it moves around. Now, I've watched this thing go in like my bedroom, which is a smaller room, and that's got carpet up there. And I've watched it and I've studied it, and I have to admit that it is totally random. I've never seen it, mimic the same path or anything like it remembers where it is or anything like that. So it has no mapping feature, but it will get into every corner of your room. I've watched it. I've watched it do an entire room. It takes a little while, but it does get there. So again, this would be a perfect unit if you just want something that you turn on before you go to work and let it do its thing. By the time you get home, all your floors are done. But if you want something that's going to do it efficiently, etc., etc., if you have a large house, this may not be the best unit for you. Anyway, it does come with a little remote. Now, this little remote, which unfortunately I have lost, don't tell my partner, but the little remote allows you to essentially do spot cleaning because it has little arrow buttons, directional buttons on there, so you can actually move it around and control it like a little remote controlled car. It also has a function where it will just go in circles in a larger and larger radius along the floor. So if you have a spot spill or something and you need it to just do one particular area, it will do that. And that's pretty much it. It also has a little home button that tells it to go home. And it also has a button that increases the suction. Now, when you increase the suction, it makes this unit run quite a bit louder. So I find that the normal suction level is fine. I think on the box they say it's about 45 to 50 decibels. I don't know, decibels. It's not that loud, put it that way. In real time, it's not that loud. But anyway, like I said, I've been pretty happy with this guy. Stick around. You'll see just some quick examples of it, doing its thing on my floor. And then we'll come back and have a look at the inside after it captures all the dust and dirt and grime and all the other nasty stuff that we don't want on our floors. Anyway, stick around. There's more to come. Okay, guys, now that you've seen the iLife A4s vacuum in action, I've just stopped it and I wanted to show you what it picked up. So I don't know if you can see this, but you can see it's pretty dirty on the bottom. Now, my wife is probably going to hate this, but as you can see here, the mouth bit where all of your gunk and dust and everything gets into, the roller here is just totally covered in her hair. She hopefully doesn't watch this video, but this is pretty gross. So if you have, no offense, hun, sorry, but if you have pets, if you have a partner who sheds lots of hair, this guy will get the hair out. So I just usually take it out and chuck it. But anyway, so that shows you really well what this thing can pick up. Now, if we open up the tray here, you can see all of the gunk in there. Now, again, I just had this going for probably about a half hour to an hour, and you can see there's a decent amount of stuff in there. It's actually pretty gross. It's pretty amazing what it picks up. I actually think it does a better job than my regular manual vacuum. And of course, I'm getting dust and dirt everywhere, but that's okay. And so I'm really impressed with this guy. As I mentioned before, he can work on tiles, hardwood, carpet, no problem. He's a bit dumb in the sense that he doesn't map your floors for you, but he gets everywhere in my house at least eventually. So if you let him go long enough, he'll get into all the nooks and crannies, navigates around stuff really easily, and hardly ever gets caught on anything. The only time I ever have an issue is occasionally the end tables on my couch. It will get stuck under there because it just doesn't clear it properly. But other than that, I'm really, really happy with this guy, and especially for its price point. I think you can pick this guy up on GearBest anywhere from, depending on if it's a sale or not, anywhere from about $180 to a little over $200. And I mean, for what you get compared to iRobot Roomba, which is $600, I think this is a steal. So hopefully this has helped you if you're in the market for a robot vacuum. I cannot picture my life without one anymore. I will never vacuum ever again. Actually, that's not true. I still have to vacuum the stairs, but this guy is great. I pretty much turn him on once a day and just keeps my floors nice and tidy. And for the price point, I think he's well worth it. So if you are in the market for a robot vacuum, consider the iLife A4s, or as I like to call them, Jarvis. Anyway, that's going to do it for Gizmo Joe. I will catch you guys next time.